Boom.
I don't get it.
Got it. Third grade
I'm
spelling
confused.
champ, 2 years in a row, baby. Welcome again to another episode of Zero to Hero. Uh, boy, let's change the pace a little bit here. As August is done with and Power Month is completely over. Let's change it up and let's talk about a little bit of Gundam tonight. With my guest again, as per usual, Jim with Headset Radio. What's up, Jim?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
It's not bad. Been pretty busy. What about yourself?
Oh, I'm in the same boat, man. Work is picking up, and yeah, it's getting a little busy. It's not bad
Oh,
though.
that's
It's
same
busy, right?
same here. All right, well let's talk about one of our, I guess, like fan favorite Gundam series as when we were growing up with, as the G Gundam.
I think that was your like personal favorite series, right?
Yes, that's like my second favorite to Endless Waltz. Yes.
Yeah, G Gundam was a lot of fun. It was really weird though, like very weird.
Yeah. It was off the beaten path of what we normally see. As you know, G Gundam as the series was completely different. Like it was more of like a hero instead of like insurrections and
Yeah,
uh
no, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, the fact that the lead character in G Gundam wasn't a insurrectionist, he wasn't a warrior. Like, well, he was a warrior, but he wasn't a political motivated warrior. And actually, to be fair, he was really cool because of the fact that he doesn't actually have like every main character in the series, like all these guys who are like super calm and collected, like really badass, but like super emo.
right.
That makes any sense? No, Dalmont, no. That dude is full of emotion, very angry, very quick to jump the gun on stuff.
He was
He's
a go-getter.
Yeah, but he was also full of emotion, and
Yeah.
like one of his trademark abilities, like the shining not shining fingers, the shining Gundam's abilities, like his main Gundam, was like a berserker mode. What was it called? Shining mode, or some variation of that. But he got mad and it activated, and
Yeah.
so he got mad. He got full of emotions, and even later in the series, they still come back to bite him about it.
Yes. Yeah. And it was a interesting show in general, as like we didn't get to see that show until about 2002, even though the original air date was about 94.
Yeah, the original air date was 94, and not Toonami, but Sunrise Entertainment picked it up,
Yes,
and
that's correct.
Toonami got the distribution rights for it for live TV, and this show is hands down. There's no such thing as physics in that show. Like, it kind of exists, but it doesn't. You have like spinning vortex Gundams, you have Cobra Gundams, you have Gundams that can jump super high, like thousands of feet in the air,
You also have
and
like Gundams that are turned into fish and swim around
yeah,
the ocean.
you have one that's that's like a skull, like it's built like a skull, and
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
from Malaysia, I think. But yeah, you also have German ninjas.
Oh yeah, you also have like German Ninja. That's right.
Yeah. And so, like, the whole show itself was kind of bananas. Like, a space pirate became the Russian pilot for the Gundam, and the Russian Gundam looked like a 1900s Russian military, late World War II Russian military. It's like, what?
Yeah, the Gundams did represent a little bit of the country's backstory or history too,
Like,
which like does bring us to the next point. Like they actually changed the names of these Gundams from the Japanese series to the American version, so they would, like, I guess, like sound less racist and stuff.
Yeah, like Mexico's Gundam was called Tequila Gundam, and
Yeah,
then it got changed.
brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, broad strokes there, man. Broad strokes. You have the Matador Gundam, which I think was Spain's, and
Yes,
then yeah, it was an actual like bullhead on a Gundam.
that was all it was. Yeah.
It's a bullhead on a Gundam. Neo Britain, which had I think Chap Gundam or something like that. It was stupid.
Oh, with Chapman. Yes, there
Yeah,
was a old like marksman Gundam.
yeah, and then you have like Lumber Gundam, which became Grizzly Gundam. John
Yes,
Bull, which became he was the Matador, not the Bull, but the Matador itself, who got renamed to Royal Gundam of Royal. There was a Viking Gundam that was built like a bunch of ships,
it was
like the
built like
Viking
a
ships.
Viking ship.
Yeah.
Zeus Gundam
Oh yeah, yeah, the
was
Greek one.
the Greek one,
It looked like Zeus. It was really cool looking. I liked it.
and they even had to rename some of them from like Devil Gundam. They had to turn that one to Dark Gundam, and
And
God
God Gundam
Gundam
was shining, a burning Gundam,
was
which was
was burning.
pretty cool. You also had what was it? Which is the other one? It, Gundam's Heavenly Sword, Soaring Raven Gundam. But yeah, so the production team, like, they just went broad strokes with it because I think they were trying to capture a larger audience with this series. It came out in '94 in Japan, and I think they were shooting for more of an international, not international, but more of a broad strokes and more audience because Gundam itself has always been like a political like thriller. That makes any sense?
Yeah, especially like in the West, West Hemisphere. It's always been different.
Yeah, and like so. Yeah, when it comes over to when it comes to the West and Europe, they translate it, and it always makes it more of a I don't know, like as kids, it was cool to see the Gundams fight, but like as an adult and going back and rewatching it, you realize it's far more political than you thought it was when you were a kid.
Very political. Like you
Oh,
didn't like what was it? Double O actually had where they would go in and just destroy campsites
oh yeah, they were straight up terrorists. Oh my
they were
goodness.
terrorists. Yeah, and that's how they stopped the fighting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like let's stop the fighting
Yeah,
with terror.
yeah. And I really like how they actually break down a lot of these different seasons into different like time periods, and the G Gundam actually sits in the futuristic time where the Earth is inhabitable,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the citizens of the Earth are actually uh, now living on colonies, and that's how they get the Gundams because the Gundam, I guess you would call them Gundam Meisters,
Well,
would
this one they're pilots,
they're
so Meister's was 00. But yeah, so this is called Future Century, and so it's the third timeline in the Gundam universe. Third,
yeah,
so yeah, third timeline. And so it's far after, like it's pretty far down the timeline if you're looking at it like in a straight line. And everyone left Earth. Well, large chunks we made left Earth to live in colonies in new colonies called Neo, whatever the name of the country was, like Neo America, Neo Japan,
yeah,
Neo Moscow, Neo Germany, and so what happened was the Earth became almost uninhabitable by most people, and so they left, and now the idea G Gundam makes no sense if you look at it with a very skeptical eye.
yeah,
G Gundam makes no damn sense because there's the terraformer they made was a Gundam. They
yeah,
have these battle royales for the presidency of the colonies with Gundams. They, it makes no sense why this is this.
yeah,
And like they have these really weird rules and all the other weird stuff. And G Gundam is such a strange, unique little baby of a series within the larger Gundam universe.
yeah. And I think
It's
that's what
so
caught the eye of everybody because it was just so oddly different from what we're so used to.
yeah, you got broad stroke Gundams. You
Yeah,
have a female Gundam, which is kind of cool. Um, you had all these different countries to fighting each other, and all these different ideas clashing, which I thought was kind of cool. Like they had a every country had its own little differences. Like every country has its own differences, and I don't know why they made it like so every country has their own differences, and then um every pilot had their own reason for being there, which
Yes,
is
that's
really
correct.
cool and it was really interesting that every pilot you met in the series had their own characteristic, which doesn't happen very often with, like, especially early '90s anime. That does not happen.
Now, the character development throughout the season, they actually go through and highlight the different pilots as well, and they actually will like do an episode on them to tell the backstory and why they're there, and actually and help them develop through the season.
And the one I really liked was Moscow, not Moscow, Russia's pilot who was a space pirate that they
Yes,
captured. It's like, all right, you're gonna pilot this Gundam. He's like, no, I will not. It's like, well, we implanted a bomb in your chest. You're gonna pilot this Gundam. It's like, well, I'm gonna pilot this Gundam.
yeah,
It's like,
and
well,
so that brings us to like I guess our main yeah our main character Domon as a protagonist. Yeah, so he actually is Neo Japan Shining Gundam, which then later on he becomes a pilot of the Shining Gundam.
yeah, he was the pilot of Burning Gundam, and
Oh,
then
Burning. Yes, that's
became
right.
Shining Gundam later. So like the figure
Yeah,
that came out from the Gundam universe was Burning Gundam, which is his first Gundam, and so that one breaks eventually in like what 10 episodes, something like that. And then he gets Shining Gundam, and then re-enters. He enters the tournament with Burning, and then Burning gets destroyed, and then he gets Shining Gundam again. That
ah,
whole series is yeah. And then the rules say you can't substitute your Gundam out. You can repair it, but you can't substitute until you get to the finals, and then you can substitute whatever you want. I just
which then he does.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah. But
but I
yeah,
like it.
Domon himself is a very kind of tragic character actually. Like his mom
Yeah,
dies, his dad is imprisoned and put on ice, and his brother is lost. He's trying to find his brother.
yeah. Which turns out his brother took the terraforming Gundam down to Earth, and
Yeah, well,
holy
he
moly,
was piloting it
yeah,
when it was going down to start terraforming Earth, and you find out later that some nefarious people were not wanting to have it go down and terraform Earth. They wanted to go down and destroy Earth, and it was like, oh, really?
yeah.
And
It
so
was
yeah,
bad news.
they sabotaged the entry, and so Double Gundam crashed, which it wasn't actually called Double Gundam at first. It was called something else. It was called, I think, Terraformer Gundam or something like that. It's very broad stroke, really generic naming for it. Which why is a Gundam a terror? Where I move past that point because I'm going to stay on it all day. But it goes down, and then it has its own built-in AI. It's like, oh hey, I'm sentient now, and I want to do evil
Yeah.
things.
It also has the ability to regenerate itself as
That was
well.
really cool.
That was really
Because
cool.
like later in the series, like about 20 episodes, then you start seeing the like Gundams fight. You know, they come in and they're fighting each other, and you know the Devil Gundam pawns, like they get wrecked, like half their face gets blown off or something like that, and like
Right.
regenerates the Gundam head. Oh, it was super weird.
Because weren't they powered by dark cells as well?
Yeah, they're powered by dark cells, which um, was created by the Devil Gundam, which is also being powered by a human. So a human, so they essentially became a battery. So a full on Matrix. Okay, but yeah, so the tournament rules are completely. So like they have their own rules for the tournament. Like you, property damage isn't a thing while you're in a Gundam battle for the tournament. Everything else, yeah, there's property damage. But when you're in a Gundam battle, it don't matter. Just destroy whatever you want. No
Yeah.
one cares apparently.
And all
From
for the country.
Yep, all for the country. Um, like you can't hurt another pilot. Like you can't intentionally go for the cockpit, which in turn, if you lose your head, you lost the battle. So if, your head gets exploded, and so that's why Burning Gundam and Shining Gundam have the shining fingers or burning fingers. It's like a one hitter quitter. If it lands on the head, it's done.
Yeah.
So that
Completely
was like a win
destroys.
contingency for the battles.
Yeah. And
And
I like how when Domon finally gets down to Earth and starts fighting around, he actually stalemates with a couple other people, which then in turn become his friends in the chase for the, I guess, the lead
Oh,
for
Gundam
the,
of Gundams.
yeah, the Gundam of Gundams.
Yeah,
And
and just yeah, such a generic name, and that was like the original name for the Japanese version too, Gundam of Gundams, and you're like, kid show,
yeah, come
okay,
on.
but yeah, him and his friends get together. They form something called the Shuffle Alliance. There's like five of them. So Russia, China, France, America, and Japan become the Shuffle Alliance,
Y-
which
yes.
is kind of funny because there was never really been an alliance like that before. There's
No,
no
the other alliance was just way better, but I guess they sacrificed
they
themselves.
call that one the Axis power.
Yes. Oh man.
I'm like,
Yeah,
we tried this one.
and another thing I like too about this series was that they did not have cockpits. They more or less had platforms with full body suits, actually able to control these
Yeah.
Gundam
So
suits.
yeah, this series had a really different cockpit idea. So it was a bodysuit with like antennas on the shoulders and wrists and stuff, and it's a really weird concept, but it let the fighters like so. When you're watching this series and you see the Gundams do these crazy things, it indicates that the pilot can do these crazy things. Like America's Gundam. America's Gundam is a boxer, like his pilot's a boxer. And so the the um the Gundam itself is more aligned to boxing and shaped like a boxer. Um China's Gundam has some interesting techniques, and so it's really light and nimble because the pilot's really light and nimble.
Yeah.
Um,
As for being a
Moscow,
kid,
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Moscow. Oh my god, Moscow is this huge burly Gundam. It's just complete shoulder pads that are that are what are they called? Balls and chains.
Oh yes.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
you're
talking
right.
about.
You're right.
Yeah, so
I
he
forgot
fires
the
those off and it catches it with a laser chain and laser chains. Yeah, that's a thing too. Laser chains.
yes.
Yeah, laser chains
Uh
and laser sash whips. That's a thing in the series too.
that's
And
actually a human, actually a non Gundam weapon too, is those razor slash.
yeah, so yeah, every Gundam's kind of built a little differently. Like India's pilot, he's really snake-like, and so his Gundam is a snake. Um, Greece, Greece, the guy is built like a Greek god, and so
Of
Gundam's built
course.
like a Greek god, and same with
Which
Neo.
he actually had a chariot too that went
Oh
with
yeah, he had
him.
a chariot. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Gundam horses.
Yes, with the horse Gundam.
Oh,
Which, how in the world?
I'll tell you, this series made no damn sense. Like, it
It,
doesn't make any. Like, it makes logical sense in that universe for that timeline.
yeah.
On any
And
other plane, no, it makes no
but but
fucking sense.
as we're kids, we don't even care. It's cool, but as adults, you're just looking back like, no, no, there's no way.
It's like it's like looking back now. It's like I was excited about Sailor Moon. Yeah,
Yeah,
what happened?
no. What happened there, buddy?
I had a fascination with animation. That's what it was.
That's it.
I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna stick with it.
Oh man. But
but
yeah, so like these suits that they wear, they're not meant for everybody. Like you have to be specifically chosen and able to wear that suit. Now, for if somebody was to get in there, like as you saw, that kid that tried to steal the Gundam, almost crushed him to death.
yeah, it was just like skin tight, and
It was it wasn't meant for him and skin tight, and it was just causing him problems.
like the only complaint I have, the only real big complaint I have is okay. So Domon has a mechanic named Rain, and
Yes,
one of the episodes, so she has to pilot his Gundam for some weird convoluted reason. So in danger, need to pilot the Gundam. Okay, so these suits are made for the pilot, like they're designed for the pilot, and it's the pilot's body can withstand the pressure from the suit. And so each suit has their own individual like setup. So like China's is a yellow suit, Japan's is a black one, with a big red dot in the middle,
yeah,
and it's the same for every like pilot has their own suit and all their own setup. And so but it's for the Gundam. And so and when the kid gets in, he gets the same suit that Domon gets, the black suit with the red dot in the middle. And she gets in and she gets a black suit with pink everywhere. And I'm like, what is this? This makes no sense. Like up to this point, you've
Yeah,
shown that every single pilot gets their own suit for the Gundam. Like it's not every pilot; it's for every Gundam has its own suit that controls the Gundam. Why does she get a special one? What's going on here? What?
li-
No, this makes no
it was
sense.
probably
Gundam,
one of those like
explain.
since she worked on the software, she might have had that thing preloaded in there just in case she
But
had to take
clearly shows
control.
she's not prepared for it. It makes no sense.
Done. Oh
But
man.
that's my one biggest gripe about the whole cockpit idea. Besides that, it's really cool because then you have like this physical feedback. Like say you get damaged, like
You feel
you
it real
feel it.
time. Yeah.
There's a subplot later on that the main character Domon has his shoulder dislocated, and so he's in a fight with a Gundam that the pilot knows about this. So he's like, oh, his shoulder's dislocated. He's gonna have problems with that shoulder, and so he keeps attacking the shoulder, keeps attacking the shoulder, keeps attacking the shoulder. So he's like, the Domon's in severe pain. He's like, I got it. This hurts way too much. So what does he do? He dislocates his shoulder, and the Gundam dislocates his arm, so his arm falls off.
What are the chances, right?
It's like that's very smart of you, but it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
So you could
Well, it
dislocate
did.
your
It
body
did
part.
get Domon out of that situation and to win that fight too.
Yeah, he wins the fight, but it's like it's a very like one. It's like one on one, like one to one. So like if like I think like if the finger gets broken, you feel like you broke your finger.
Yes, that's right.
And so if you dislocate your finger, does the finger fall off?
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it be like a more of a pain receptor kind of sensor?
But
That's what I
yeah,
would
yeah,
think. I
like
would think of that.
because you don't physically get hurt in the Gundam, like you just feel what it feels. So
Yes.
say, but vice versa, whenever you dislocate something, it clearly showed that the arm fell off because it got dislocated from his body. It's like,
Yes.
oh, dislocated arm falls off. Is that built into the system, or is that just one thing for him, or what's going on with that? I need to
Yeah.
know these answers, but they don't tell
And
you these answers.
and how what would it like demobilize the bodysuit as well, so he couldn't use that arm, or like there's so many questions with that.
When he farts, does it release a gas from the butt area? What's going on? I need to know.
Yeah. We need
Now I know.
answers.
I need answers. We are
uh,
calling Mulder and Scully. We need these answers.
we need these
The answers
answers,
are out there if you believe.
but we need them stat.
Woo 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 woo.
So so now we need I guess every Gundam has a special move too. There's a lot of we don't see a lot of them because they're not really the main characters.
Let me phrase this properly for you. Every Gundam has a special move, and they all
Yes,
are ridiculous.
yeah, oh yeah, very.
Yeah.
Uh,
You have the main characters with shining and burning fingers, which is really cool. Even though sometimes it's a shining, burning, humongous laser blade, and then like France has roses that fly around and shoot whoever they need to
they
shoot,
were
which is
they
controlled
were
by his
called
mind.
rose bits.
Rose bits. Oh my god, yeah.
Yes.
The translations for this series
China had
was
the flags that
rough.
would imprison, like trap
Oh
them.
yeah, the present flags, and then Russia had the arm, the shoulder balls on a laser
Laser
chains,
change.
laser chains.
And then what Chibity with America had the fist of fire, and his shoulder pads or the shoulders would come off and become punching as boxing gloves for the
Yeah,
Gundam.
and to be fair, that's like the only ones you really get to see. The rest of them, it's
Yeah,
one-off kind of things.
yeah, the
Like
rest of them are just like generic ones. We don't get
very,
to see much of
most
those.
of them are spinning really fast. That's what it is. Most of them are
That's
spinning
yeah.
really fast, and so you get like a tornado animation,
Now,
and it makes no sense because it's a Gundam that weighs thousands of pounds. How does it
eh,
do that?
how the laws of physics do not apply in the show.
Physics are out the window for this
Yeah.
series. It's like, oh hey, physics. No, cool.
Especially when you get into seeing with Domon and Master Asia, like they're jumping from building top to building top. Like, who? How?
Okay, so Master Asia is a dick.
Oh, very.
He's an asshole. And like, okay, So he's Domon's master, and he was part of the original Royal Alliance. So he was part of
Yes.
the Royal Alliance, and so now he's Master Asia, and he passed the title down to Domon, which perfectly fine, makes
Mhm.
sense because they were really close. But when you watch this guy, you're like, oh, this guy is a little off. Like he's a little off. You're like, okay, but it's not really crazy off. Like the first time you see him in the series, he's like, oh, I'm your master, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's
He
like,
plays them.
oh yeah,
He
plays him
played them.
bad. And
Yeah.
this dude is an asshole. He's a
Very.
dick. And then he comes back through, and you find out he has nefarious plans for Devil Gundam later on, and he's like the big
Yeah.
bad. And his Gundam is called
Dark
uh
Gundam.
no, it's
Yeah.
Master Age's Gundam is called Master Gundam
Yeah.
because, but it looks a lot like Epion from Wing Zero, or
It really did. It really resembled Epion from there,
it
and
looked
he had a contradicting shining finger or burning finger, which was called Dark Finger. There was
yeah,
not too much creativity in there.
yeah. There was not a whole lot of creativity altogether. It's such a weird show because they put a lot of work into each and every character, but then like the special attacks and naming schemes, complete and total nothing. Like Tequila Gundam,
Yeah,
yeah.
for real.
Like I was
Yeah, and
half
his
expecting like Russia's going to be called Vodka Gundam.
yeah at some point.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, the Russian guy hooks up with his imprisoner, the lady who imprisoned him. He
Yeah,
marries her at the end of the series. You're like, wait, hold on, this is just a thing now. Like,
hey,
wait, she captured and planted a bomb in your and you okay?
hey. Well, technically, she Stockholm syndrome him.
Technically, he has Stockholm syndrome, and then she has what's it called? Misery syndrome.
Oh no! Now we're just coming up with all sorts of syndromes. Now,
Oh,
first Gundams don't make sense. Now we got syndromes.
yeah. No, Master Asia. Yeah, his look a lot like Epion and Dark Finger, and the series hurts when you think too hard about it. But it's a
Yeah.
really fun series. Do not take me bashing on the names as this not being a
Oh
fun series. It's
yeah.
really fun because it's a lot more action than previous and other Gundam series. Like
It-
Gundam Unicorn, Iron Blood Orphan, like they're great series. Thunderbolt, they're a great series, but the
yeah.
action scenes, like they're amazing, but they're very few and far between.
Yeah. Exactly. Like don't get it wrong that we're picking out the like the negative parts and what don't make sense, but in all together though, like I would definitely recommend this series to anybody to start off with.
Like if you have an inkling to want to watch a fighting series and just want to just kind of
Yeah,
turn your brain off for a little bit and enjoy a good fight scene, G Gundam.
like a 10 of 10 would recommend, right?
Like 9 out of 10, I would recommend. I
Yeah,
would first recommend Power Rangers. Like just watch some Power Rangers, have a nice time. But if you really want to get the animation,
yeah.
Gundam. Like G Gundam,
Gundam,
watch it. Just enjoy it. It's dumb. Turn your brain off. Like broad strokes. Don't worry about it. You're not
yeah.
going to be very confused.
Yeah, like G Gundam, and I would definitely recommend a 0083 too, because that was apparently the very first
Yeah.
series
No,
to
double.
air, not air, but in
It was
this
a
series.
timeline
Yeah,
wise,
the
I
timeline
couldn't say
wise,
yeah.
yeah,
But the very first one was still Gundam, and then Gundam 0080, I think it was the second series.
yeah.
Do not quote me on this because I don't remember it top of my head. But there's Gundam 2, which took place after Universe or after the main continuity universe. We're not going to get into that because that's a whole different can of worms. That's bananas.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
similar story. Yeah, Devil Gundam, or as we call it, Dark Gundam here.
because we
Uh,
have ultra crazy parents who called it about double death scythe
oh yeah,
or no
Death Side
hell
Hell,
hell yeah death scythe hell, that's what it was.
and they
Death
had
scythe
to
was cool, but hell was not.
yeah, apparently Hell wasn't. They had to repackage all those toys and everything,
So Toonami,
rebranded all.
when Sunrise redubbed or dubbed the series for, because it was after Gundam Wing came out and after Endless Waltz came out, so they had to redub it or dub it with the translation on it, and that's why we got these awkward names like Spike Gundam.
Yeah, they're very very odd names.
So
I mean,
yeah, and so the whole series is a fighting series. Like every episode ends with a fight, and it's really a lot of fun.
and
Almost every episode, not every, almost every episode.
it's pretty
And
nice because most, I would say, probably 90% of the fights are usually hand to hand combat. You don't really see weapons used, but
and
very odd you do though.
and they're not bland either. They're really not. They're all
Yeah,
creative, like creative ideas for the fight. So like look at Neo Mexico. The pilot did not want to fight. He was like, I don't want to fight.
yeah.
There's no possibility I can fight. I have my reasons. And Domon's like, okay, well, we're gonna
We'll
fight
fake your death.
and we're gonna fake your death so you can be with the person you care about.
Yes,
That was amazing. Look at China, Neo China. The kid is a Shaolin monk. I think Shaolin monk. I think
yes, that's right.
And
Yeah,
so the fight itself comes out to a stalemate because they both use their ultimate technique, and but the fighting style that the kid uses is unknown to Domon, so he has to think on his feet the entire time, which was pretty cool because he wasn't used to that up to that point. And so that's completely different than what you're thinking it was. It's like, oh, this is going to be a knockout drag out. No, it got to the point to where
it was very
uh,
technical.
people are losing arms. It was very technical. Domon had to go back to his own older training, like his training from Master Asia about different fighting styles. It was really interesting. Like, and then Russia, America, not Russia, America, Neo America. It was a boxing match. It
Yeah,
was a straight up
yeah.
boxing match. G Gundams. Holy what? That was awesome. And
I mean,
then France. Oh, what was France? It was a Battle of Honor at the Sunrise.
oh yes, that's right.
And so that was interesting. And then Domon had to learn how to do the really cool spinning trick. Uh, that one was I'm gonna say that was a little bit generic, but how did Russia end? How did that one go?
Uh, that one I think I can't remember, but I remember that Russia used. Oh, I think with the Russia, the Canadian one interrupted
The Canadian one or the German one?
the Canadian one because
Oh, yeah, Canada.
I think he came out and interrupted their fight.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because he's like, oh, hey, I found your crewmen. They're over in this little town. Yeah, that was. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the cool part about this whole series is that Double Gundam is floating around. Not really floating around, but it's stalking everyone,
Yes.
and so it's creating these uh, token images of the Gundams and the pilots that are going around and just wrecking shit. And you're not really expecting that when you first start watching the series. Like, oh yeah, no, Double Gundam sounds pretty evil. Wah la 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 la. No,
Hmm.
okay. So at one point, like China and Russia are fighting, and these double duplicates show up to kill Domon. Like they're showing up to because he's in the middle of training and he can't enter his Gundam, so it knows this, and so it sends out these Gundams to go kill him. It's like, oh hey, he can't re-enter because the Gundam shut him out. Like they're trying to get back to the Gundam and stuff, but they can't, and so he's completely shut out until he finishes his training because of Master Asia because he's a dick.
Wasn't that the one where they were showing the duplicates of
Russia,
Master
China,
Gundam?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. All the duplicates start showing up and stuff, and like,
yeah, and he like ran him down, and it turns out it was like a trap.
yeah, it was a complete total trap. And it caused a stalemate from China and Russia, and so they had to help out with that. And yeah, it's very intricate of how Double Gundam screws with people, and kind of find out why later, because it's the battery, the person battery that's in there. It's not really a battery; it's kind of like a point of consciousness. Makes
Hmm.
any sense? So
Yeah.
it develops, lets the Double Gundam work, and it's Domon's brother because he fell to Earth, like he was in the Double Gundam when it came to Earth because it was sabotaged and so blah 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 blah. Bad things happen, so it's messing with Domon a lot, it does not want him to live because it doesn't need him to live because it would break the cycle that Domon could break the cycle the Devil Gundam held on his brother.
That and yeah, that's why he was looking for him probably since like episode 1,
Yeah, he was
trying to
looking for him
find
like
him.
I think it was like episode 3 or 4. He
Yeah,
introduced his brother and stuff. Like the first couple
yeah.
episodes were just like fighting and
And
getting
just to
interested.
see like right before the tournament started, you could see that he brings down Devil Gundam, but
He
it
brings down
was
a
like way
very
too easy.
yeah.
Yeah,
He brings down a Devil Gundam that's a little too easy and kind of gives him false confidence, like false hope. It's like, oh, that
yeah.
was really easy. Okay.
Like little sad that he had to kill his own brother, but it turns out it wasn't. He didn't kill him because the Devil Gundam reappears like a couple episodes later.
Bait and switch.
The old bait and switch, man.
Bite and switchy, yeah. And then you find out that Master Asia has been working for the Devil Gundam ever since the beginning of the series.
Yeah,
He's
ever
working with
since the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah,
very beginning of the series, he started working with Devil Gundam, and it was to get Rain. So Rain was the key to everything,
yeah,
and
yeah. You're right about
because
that.
her parents helped develop the Devil Gundam, and so it's locked into her. So it was messing with Domon so he would not be able to break the cycle that he had on his brother. And then he was also looking for Rain. So you find out Rain's parents worked on, the Devil Gundam, like helped design it, and they were the founders of it. So they made it. And that's why it wants her really, like it really wants her. Because it would mesh well with her synapse, her brain. And Master Asia is like, oh, good, we could use this.
Yeah, and that's why they
And
always
kidnaps
going
and
after her.
yeah, so like she's not really a damsel in distress, more of she's the key to making it all work, and she's also the mechanic for Shining and Burning Gundam. Like she's not a damsel in distress at all. She's not. She's a very capable person. It's just she's the big bad key now.
Yeah, that's right.
She was very interesting. Like her character is very strange as in you don't know a lot about her past until like episode 25 or something like that. You get little snippets of it, but when they go back to Neo Tokyo, Domon finds out so much more. And Domon's kind of your surrogate, so you know stuff when he knows stuff. So you're not really privy to extra information normally until he learns things. It's kind of cool. The like you're following his story along.
Yeah, yeah. You do get to meet the people that join along, tag along in his story
Like
too.
Neo Norway, right? The berserker lady. Oh man,
Oh, was that Norway or Sweden?
I think it was Norway. No, Sweden. It was Sweden.
Yeah,
Sweden. Yeah, Sweden.
she
Because the
had
flags were Swedish colors. Yeah.
yeah
So yeah, no, she had a
straight
berserker
berserker
mode.
mode.
Yeah. And China follows along for a while. So does France. France follows him for a little bit. He's a really good character. Like Domon himself is a very good character because he has flaws. He
Oh,
has a
pretty
lot of
obvious
flaws. Yeah.
flaws. I think
But
his biggest flaw was his emotions.
he was very quick to anger. Very quick to anger.
Very quick to anger. Yeah,
But not angry at people. Like he would never be angry at people. He would be furious with but like he would be mad about himself. Like he was
yeah,
more mad about himself than anything else. So he was essentially like the 1990s emo kid, and
nah.
yeah, he was emo. His suit was black. He wore button downs and jeans with a belt. He
He had
had
a
long
really
hair
sweet.
and a
He
bandana.
had really sweet duster.
He couldn't afford. He couldn't afford his own car.
Oh no. Still mad that his mom didn't take him to Hot Topic when he was 13.
He's still mad that his mom died too early. My mom died.
Yeah.
Like,
Ugh.
uh.
I'm gonna
So
go listen to some Green Day.
I'm gonna go listen to Green Day. I'm so mad. I'm gonna go listen to Green Day.
Yeah.
Like their early stuff. I don't like their new stuff. American Idiot is not real Green Day.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna have to ask you to clock out, go home. Nah.
No.
So like basically, So if you go through the whole series and just like get to the end of it, like so the Gundam Awards was basically just crowning the last standing Gundam of so whatever country they represented was to become the leader of the colonies
Yeah, so
for
like
the
yeah,
next
they
four
would like
years.
introduce yeah, that's such a quick thing, like 4 years. And I'm like, why can't they vote on things? Like, what's going on? Did you decide that Gundams were the everything, so you have to do all Gundam stuff? What is this nonsense?
Yeah,
And I just I get it, and I like it makes no sense in this
yeah. The concept behind it's there.
like
The
you can
the
see the concept.
physical attributions and
The wheel is turning, but the
yeah,
hamster's half dead.
yeah, half dead.
Like it's still
Yes.
going. Just ah.
Ah,
But
yeah. Oh
yeah,
man,
so it's a cool concept, cool
it is.
series. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fight scenes. Like every episode has a fight scene.
Just stick with
Master
it
Age is an
and you'll
ass.
enjoy it. Yeah, Master,
Master
he's
Age
a
is a
dick,
bad.
man. But yeah, so like
Just
honest opinion, I would refer it. I like the series. I like the storyline. I like the friends he makes and how they become the Shuffle Alliance. I would say, hey, just sit down, get through a couple episodes. If you don't like it, you don't. But I think you will. I like everything about it. Um, definitely, you can't complain about giant robots fighting each other with humans inside wearing bodysuits, skin
if you
tight
like
bodysuits.
Pacific Rim, if you like that movie, not Uprising. We're not gonna talk about Uprising.
The original is
Pacific Rim. If
yes,
you like that, you're like this series. Like it's a smart series in its own unique way, but it's a
yes.
very fun series that you can just go into and like just watch.
You know what? Hey, who knows? It might open up a doorway for you to enjoy other series and other timelines, and then maybe if you like, you can actually go back through and buy the Gundam Universe figures.
So I recommend G Gundam for anyone who wants to dip their toes in Gundam and just enjoy a fight scene.
Yes,
From there, if you want to branch out off of that, I recommend Iron Blood Orphans. I recommend Unicorn's really short. It's a very
yeah,
short series.
very short, but very good though.
Very good, but
And
very short.
I would
Double Zero
recommend also
83.
double zero three, double zero,
Double Zero is a great series. It's really long, but you have to
e
pay attention to it.
yeah, EW is pretty good.
That one's pretty good too.
So
You if you get into Gundam, Gundam itself is a very fun, like it's a very interesting series, but they have a lot of plot lines. So G Gundam has a couple little plot lines that go through the series, but they're kind of easy to follow. That's the one big bad thing about the Gundam series for new people coming in. There's three timelines. There's multiple series per not G Gundam is its own timeline. And it's like that's it. But the other two main timelines, there's multiple series with it. There's multiple series and there's timelines within those series. And then like you go to the store and you're looking at the model kits and stuff. There's model kits for all kinds of random Gundams that you're like, what is this? Why?
yeah,
Wait, hold on. Why does this one look like this? And you don't know where it's from.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what
and
happens to me. I'll be going to the store and I'll be like, that's a high grade Barbatos, but I've never seen it look like that. Why?
yeah, and so don't worry about what the models look like. Just enjoy watching the show if you want to get into it. Just watch
Yeah,
the show, pay attention for it
and yeah,
because
it's a
there's some
nice little
crazy
thing.
things.
Yeah,
Like one
and
series in Double Zero, a guy loses his leg or something like that, and like vows his revenge on the Gundam Meisters, and like joins the pilot program and helps develop a new drive, and because of pilot, and takes his revenge out because his girlfriend died and he lost a leg.
yeah, that was yeah,
It's like, well, kudos. And
and
like,
so
yeah, there's
I
overarching plots and stuff, but if you really want to get into Gundam, check out G Gundam. It's a lot of fun, and the Gundam suits look very cool. Like
yes,
they stand out. They stand out very well. And so that's my last and final opinion on G Gundam. Also,
You're-
some kind of fun twist with German ninjas.
yes.
German ninjas. If that word does not get you excited about G Gundam,
What
okay.
else will?
Like that's the one thing I got, man.
Yeah.
German ninjas. Just roll with it in German ninjas.
Oh man.
Ger-
Well,
German
as
ninjas.
let's as winding down on this episode, that's basically me and Jim's Jim and I's synopsis on this series. Yes.
Yeah, our synopsis on the series is it's fun. Turn your brain off, watch it, enjoy yourself if you want to get into Gundam. If
Yeah.
not, if you don't really care about Gundam and you're really never gonna care about it, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own fans. Like everyone has their own interest. If you don't like it, cool. We'll see you next week with a new topic. It's all good. We're not mad
Yeah.
about it.
And
We'll never be mad. Like I know the Zero to Hero podcast itself will never be mad about your own interest. Like if it's something you don't like,
no.
it's all good. Like we get it. Everyone likes their own thing, man.
We love hearing different people's
If you like something
opinions.
that we don't like, explain why you like it.
But yeah, do
So,
you have any, I guess, last sayings?
yeah, no, I got about 5 more minutes worth of junk if you want to talk about it.
Oh God.
Yeah. We got a few minutes. So, I'm working on projects. If one of our big projects we're working on right now is called Dawn Rises, and it's for people who need help with mental stability. Um, if you have dealt with trauma in your life and stuff like that, and all trauma, there's always damage that's left over from it. If you need help with that, or we're working on a new podcast with a new client of ours, her name is Tiffany, and her project is Dawn Rises, and it really is helping people get their bases underneath their feet about getting back on their feet from trauma. And so that's one of our big projects we're working on right now. So that's within the headset radio productions and everything else. And I just want to talk a little bit about that one.
Well, there you go. And if you ever want to follow us, you can visit our website at www.zeotohero or
Uh,
Z2H.
no, you don't need www. It's really cool. And it's evolved past www.
So what are we at now? Zeotohero.com?
Yep, Zeo2 Hero, all spelled out. The two T-O, Zeo2 Hero.
Yes.
I know the naming scheme for like the Facebook group and everything's a little iffy, like a little different, but it's all the same thing. Zo2 Hero, Z2H, it's all the same thing. You can just Google Z2H or Zeo to Hero, and you'll find us. The Facebook group is set up, the Facebook page is set up, and join the group because we're talking about our new projects and everything else in there.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're
and
also doing milestone giveaways at certain members.
Yeah, certain member levels. Yeah, we're giving
Yes.
those away. And oh yeah, by the way, news from within the group. The person Derek, the Eternal Ranger, the guy we had on last episode, so 3, the Ranger Within. Him and his wife just had their baby. I think it's baby Riley. That's what it is, baby
Yes.
Riley. I've been keeping up with him. He's working on his own projects too. He's part of the group as well. He shares stuff within the group. So yeah, really cool dude. I like talking to him.
Well, there we go. Another episode down. Definitely a change of pace from Power Rangers, and definitely have fun talking to you about giant robots fighting each other with German ninjas.
German ninja.
Yeah.
All right, man. Catch you later.
All right. Signing out. By a country which every couple years they do
They have a big battle,
they have
and
a
are you
big
just reading
battle.
off the wiki?
Almost. Almost.